weekend for you. Welcome back to Trentero. I'm David.
And I'm Gary.
And we're at Gary's house.
Yes.
As evidenced by the cattail above his head.
Yes.
And the clock you can't see. And pictures of cats.
Yes, cats
and
everywhere.
As you can see, it's also 12:15.
Yes, on Saturday. So Dave was just showing me a TikTok video where this lady was talking about Trump's not been around these days.
Lady!
And she said, there's a couple of folks on YouTube that put it out there, and then it seems like a bunch of other people sort of grabbed onto it. But she was bringing receipts, and is it rollcall.com?
Yeah, if you go to rollcall.com, and you can look up Donald Trump on roll call, it will give you the White House's schedule for any day of the week. And you can go back in time. And she went back to like April to show what he was doing in April, and then like when he met with Putin, it gives you an itinerary of what he was doing when he met with Putin. And it was detailed, He left the White House at 6:37 in the morning. He flew to Alaska. He arrived at Alaska at such and such time, met with Putin at this time, lunch with Putin at this time, that sort of thing. After his meeting, Trump's meeting with the president of Korea on Monday, he's been remarkably absent from any type of events, especially public-facing events. He had lunch with his cabinet on one of the days, and I believe that was Tuesday. I think that's when he went on that 3-hour-long rambling speech, commenting that he can't tell Pam Bondi how hot she is because he'll get fired or something like that, amongst other things.
Was that the meeting where they all had to say how much they loved Trump and how wonderful he was?
That's happened in the first administration. I don't know if they're still doing that.
Yeah, there was something that happened recently that they were doing that.
And then the next day, which is Wednesday, he had lunch with J.D. Vance.
Woo.
That'll
take it out of you, honey.
and he signed some executive orders in the afternoon. And then Thursday there was nothing. Tom Homan spoke to the press. And then Friday, nothing.
Stephen
Miller talked to the press, and then Caroline Leavitt talked to the press. Saturday he had no public events going. Apparently 2 of his grandchildren who drew the shortest straws, or it was their turn this weekend to spend time with Grandpa, left the White House to go to his golf course in D.C., and then Sunday he's got no public-facing events.
So he's either on a really long vacation, and so now, of course, there's speculation about what's going on.
Yeah, for the guy who loves the spotlight and the limelight, he's not in it.
Curiously absent. So we're going to keep an eye on that going forward, just to see what we can see. But today's reading, now that we had this wonderful segue, but we're going in a completely different direction.
I don't know why you decided to go down this whole.
Well, it's just I just found it fascinating. So we've got
the Powerball's up to $1 billion. Maybe you could find some numbers fascinating too. I'm sure our audience would be really, really appreciative.
Someone won that. It was $700 million. Someone won it.
No, it's up to $1 billion.
Oh, maybe I misunderstood what the one was. I figured someone won the thing. Okay.
I was driving down the freeway and I thought it was 10. I thought it was 10 million. It's no, 1.0 billion with a B.
It went up 300 million in a week.
Yeah, when it gets up this high, everybody buys tickets because if you're gonna win the lottery, you might as well hit the 500-foot home run. Even when a 390-foot home run will do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the other one's only worth 300 million. Who wants that? So
couldn't possibly live on that.
In a wonderful but probably briefly lived setback, the appeals court in New York ruled. Is it New York?
I don't know where the appeals court
I can't remember if it's New York or D.C. The appeals court ruled against Trump's tariffs, saying that it was a complete presidential overreach. It was a 11 persons appeals court. That's why I was thinking maybe it was New York. But
no, there's what I read. It's a 12-person appeals court, but there's one person on it who's 90-something years old, and they want that person to take a cognitive test before they let her rule on any cases going forward, and she refuses to take the cognitive test.
Gosh. Maybe she should run for Congress in Texas.
Shit, run for the president of the United States. Why not, 90's the new 80.
So, in a 7-4 ruling, it was ruled as presidential overreach. Now, what was curious was a factoid that was in the article that I saw that said that 7 of the judges, were appointed by Democrats, 4 by Republicans. They didn't say which 4 voted, say that Trump was okay with doing these tariffs, but I think we could all have a pretty educated guess.
Occam's razor would suggest. We know the answer.
So now what begs the question is, this is going to go to the Supreme Court because Trump's not going to just roll over and accept this.
The article that I read did state that they ruled that most of his tariffs were not legal. That it was basically Congress had it. They didn't say all of them. They said most of them, but they were going to. But they allowed the tariffs to stay in place.
Yeah,
which is like you have custody of your child, and then your husband takes the child on a vacation for the weekend and then doesn't give the child back, and the courts are ruling, you have custody, he's supposed to give it back to you, but we know he's going to appeal it, so we're going to let him hold on to the child. It's like, that's not how this works. That was an illegal order. Suspend it. Stop it. It's illegal until it's legal. And sorry, rant on. In strategy gaming, there are 2 types of rules. There's permissive rules and exclusionary rules. The Democrats, and normally the rules are permissive rules. It tells you what you can do. Congress has the right to do levies. The exclusive rules looks at, it's like, you cannot do this. So because Trump is looking at it from an exclusive rule point of view, just because the rule says Congress shall impose levies, Trump will say, it doesn't say that I can't do it. It just says Congress is to do it, but who's to say? I'm going to put levies, I'm going to levy a tariff in there and see what happens. I'm the president, the king.
Yeah, that's so funny.
Like Martin Luther King, but whiter and less diligent and not as good an orator. But hey, I march for peace. A piece of Caroline Levitt and Pam Bondi. It's hard to get a piece. Lonnie's not talking to me. She's off with their head of security.
You get in trouble for saying that Bondi's a piece.
Yeah, you get in trouble. You can't talk about that. As hot as she is, I can't tell her she's hot. Her husband might get mad. I might have to have him removed. Bring her to my room later tonight. Change my diaper. Sorry.
Yeah, we
This reading. Thank you very much for watching.
That's right. for your extreme patience.
It hurts my voice.
Anyways, let's take a look at the energy around this case heading out towards the Supreme Court.
Heading out, making like a baby.
Because the Supreme Court's been pretty
powerful. I put 3 of them on there. They owe me favors.
Been pretty amenable to Trump's whims, even though it seems like interpreting the Constitution comes secondary to what dear leader wants. So let's take a look at the energies at this case as it heads inevitably towards the Supreme Court for entertainment purposes only.
Like I said,
you got the 2 of Cups.
Matt Kavanaugh owes me favors.
So
great guy, lovely guy. Loves calendars. Not as much as JD loves sofas. Maybe the 2 of them get together.
It's good to see David in a good mood. So, foundation of the reading on this.
Where's my death card?
Is the 2 of Cups. So we got agreements and understandings going on here. And haven't you seen this the Trump overseer specter?
Yeah, I always kind of look at that orange lion as being Trump.
Yeah, just
overseeing
it. Challenges the world, trying to bring something to the end of the cycle. Whether this cycle is, interpreting the Constitution as the primary role of the Supreme Court, or agreeing to what dear leader wants is
Okay, keep going.
Okay, I'm gonna keep going. Energy underneath this is the 3 of Cups. Currently, there's celebrations. You could say it's those that support the Constitution celebrating that, hey, the appeals court upheld the decision that it was presidential overreach. I think that's a reasonable interpretation of that card. in the past, you had the sun, a bunch of, I think some corporations actually got involved in this, but basically shining a light on the truth of this, that, you know what, the Constitution says that Congress has the ability to exact tariffs. Tariffs are taxes. It doesn't give the executive branch that role, and we just need to shine a light on what the truth is. Current energy is the Nine of Wands. Just yet another fight, another struggle. Because Dave mentioned, you've got exclusionary rules, if you will.
Right.
When Dave and I used to game, we had the pleasure of playing with gamers.
Yes.
That lived that.
Power gamers are the ones that you have rule lawyers and power gamers. Rule lawyers knew all the rules backwards, forwards, left, right. They're actually really useful in a game because if there's a question about a rule, they usually know it. The power gamers exploit the rules for an unfair advantage.
Right. And this is just, here we go again. Are we going to follow the rules or are we going to exploit them? And I can tell you from experience, the exploiters are really, really annoying. And you just don't even want to engage with them after a while because you just know they're going to cheat. Overarching energy is the Four of Pentacles. Hold on to your values. We've got a constitution that gives us guidelines. The Supreme Court is just simply there to interpret the Constitution. The Supreme Court needs to hold on to its values. The lesson to be learned, Ten of Cups. Yeah, if you follow the Constitution, hold on to your values, shine a light on the things that are going wrong, and don't be afraid to fight and take action, everyone is happy. Everything works out. It's worked out pretty well for over 200 years. But boy, oh boy, the last 5-10 years have been a little bit challenging. Outcome on this, Knight of Swords, we're going to be rushing to a decision. It's coming to a Supreme Court near you. Anything you'd like to say?
Yeah.
What would you like to say?
Well done.
Oh, that's it?
No. I look at this in historical context. Originally, courts, they got partisanship aside. They did what they needed to do, and they put cases to bed. Underneath it all, that's how it was supposed to work. But that's and it worked well in the past.
Yeah.
It's now been perverted and flipped this. Now folks don't get along. And every fight is a fight to the end. There was a transition here where it's so tiresome to have to constantly fight over something that we used to agree to. Mm-hmm. We don't agree on anymore. 4 judges in this case, holding on tight to their values. It's like their values are more important than translating the law. And now it's all a matter of winning for your side. Yeah. As opposed to doing where the debate was, it's just a debate, but we all agreed on what the core values were, and we came to a decision and we moved to the next case. Now everything's a battle. Everybody wants to win, and everything's now a crusade. It's exhausting. The court cases are exhausting, and this is truly the courts are the last bastion for democracy in this country. The minute the courts are broken and corrupted and non-functional, where's your relief? Your relief only comes through force of arms at that point.
Yep. That's what I was thinking.
And then when the new government comes in, they're going to want to do what they want to do, and they may say, we're going to reestablish the courts, but there's no guarantee they will, because now they've got ultimate control and power's intoxicating.
Yes. One ring to control them all.
Exactly. It just, the corruption never stops, which is, we've lasted this long because we've had a mostly functional court system that was independent of the executive branch and the legislative branch.
Mm-hmm. That's changing.
Yeah, it's really being hammered. Will the court? And the funny thing is, the conservatives, they call themselves the originalists. They read the Constitution word for word, and if it's not in the Constitution, it shouldn't be in there at all. But the Constitution states that Congress shall impose tax tariffs.
Right.
Power of the purse. How will they honor the Constitution?
Who's they?
Supreme Court.
Okay.
It's integrity time.
It's not what you think it is.
So it's wow. We got a
not,
lot of leaving
these
cards
are not
here.
great cards.
Yeah, I think the case itself is pretty cut and dry. It's a matter of integrity. What are you gonna do? We have an 8 here. 8 people walking away. We have endings and peace offerings. So would that tell what I'm gonna guess? And I could very well be wrong because I'm probably a Pollyanna on this one by now.
You?
And the day I'm a Pollyanna on political readings,
Yes.
I think 8 of them are going to walk away from it. It'd be like an 8-1 vote. Clarence Thomas will be the one person who supports it, but it's just like it's like it's a bridge too far. They'll offer something to Trump. You're the greatest president ever, and you totally don't have a small wiener, but you can't levy tariffs. Let's be realistic here. And maybe one of them would, in the dissenting opinion, give him suggestions on what he could do. It's like they might stretch the box a little bit to allow him to put in some of his tariffs that he has put in, or expand that, because like the president has like a emergency powers control to do things, which is why I think they said most of the tariffs were not legal. And it could be that they just kick this back down to the lower courts, make the lower courts rule on it again with some new guidances, which allows Trump to keep the tariffs in place as it fights its way through the court system again. And as you can see, the court system doesn't move quickly.
Yeah, so...
And Trump may be dead by the time that this is all said and done, and now the whole thing is moot.
Exactly. Well, I'm sure a lot of the foreign countries are kind of stalling on their negotiations on the tariffs because, A, the courts may rule that they're not legal and then they dodge them. Yep. Or B, the great orange one goes to the great orange grove in the sky, and then the tariffs go away. So just time is on their side if they can hold.
Yeah, because if you sign the agreements, now you're stuck, and then you have to renegotiate with the next presidents and the next administration coming in.
Okay, so how is Trump going to react to the Supreme Court decision? What's Trump's reaction going to be? It's a burden. You're going to make me do more work.
I had to crawl out of this grave I've been buried in. I've been lying in state. Glass coffin. Linda G saw me here. Saw people throwing tomatoes at me. Stains the glass. Looks very bad.
So they're putting the burden back on Trump.
Not even seedless tomatoes. The tomatoes with seeds. There's no such thing as seedless tomatoes.
Is there such a thing as a seedless tomato?
I don't understand why they don't make seedless tomatoes. They make seedless watermelons. Love it. Good stuff.
So the challenge is the Knight of Pentacles. They're putting the burden back on Trump. And the Knight of Pentacles is just Trump's impatient. He wants this thing to move forward, but now he's got to stop and think about how can I get my money.
Thinking's highly overrated. That's why I outsource it.
The energy underneath it is the Fool. He's got to try a different path.
Yeah.
Go a different direction with it. Oops.
Oh, you peaked. I died. Can't do the tariffs anymore. Terribly sorry.
It could be that they're ruling it's the end of our economy because we're going to have...
Oh, that's right. He did say that, didn't he?
It's going to be 1929 all over if you suspend my tariffs.
Doing Trump really hurts my throat, man.
King of Wands moment. Now I got to take all these decisive actions.
I'm the Orange King with my big stick. Not a little one, big one. Look how big it is next to my little hand.
He's not happy. 4 of Cups, not happy.
I'm trying to see if I can break here.
It won't work. 4 of Cups, he's not happy with the decision that was handed to him.
Neither was Melania.
The lesson to be learned, Page of Wands, you got to change your messaging, change your approach to this. And justice has been done. Okay, so what I'm getting on this is basically supporting what Dave said, which is they're going to kick it back at him and saying, sorry, they may throw him a bone.
Yeah.
but it looks like it's coming back at him.
They always throw him a bone. They always do. And then it's never 100% loss for him.
Yeah, it's disheartening to me because some of this stuff was so cut and dried. It's just like no is no, and yet they keep bending to him
until it's yes. Keep pushing. No becomes yes. They usually
no is the beginning of negotiating.
Yeah, negotiating.
So that's what we got on this one here. So
yeah, I got.
his throat's gonna give out on this one here.
Hope you were entertained. Give a thumbs up if you liked it. Give it 2 thumbs up if you didn't. We don't like thumbs down. Thumbs downs are bad.
If you like these videos, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe and hit the bell. We'll wake you up at midnight with the new one. And leave a comment. I read them all. Respond to many.
He actually doesn't. He pays for a service to do it.
I do not. So I want to give a shout out to Felisa Lyons, who made a very generous contribution to the channel.
Wow, she sure did.
Yeah.
I'll never see that money.
No, you won't. It's already in my refrigerator in cans.
Truth.
Yes. Thank you, Felisa. And Kentucky Belle. Hi, Michelle.
Is that like Kentucky Fried Belle?
I don't think she's fried yet.
I wonder if she's the full 20-piece bucket.
Ah, yes.
That's you got a family to feed.
Poetic justice there. That's right.
Do they have a 20-piece bucket?
That's right. They might.
I hope that doesn't include the gizzards and liver.
No, they don't. They don't do the organs.
20 pieces never look so small.
And let's see who's. We'll give one shout out to who's in there. Oh, Sherry5982.
Sherry5982.
Who said that the double secret cards are very appropriate.
Oh yes, like the King of Cups.
Yes.
Very appropriate.
That they get very emotional. And then a card for the rest of us. And we got the 2 of Swords.
And the 5 of Coins.
That's right.
Make a decision on never giving us money. You might want to rethink that.
Yeah, but this was an interesting reading. It's nice to have you in the same room because we're not talking over each other quite as much.
I know that's the problem with Zoom.
But it's just nice. As you can tell, the energy is a lot different when we're in the same room. We tend to play off each other a lot more. So, thank you for tolerating us, and we appreciate it.
It's like going to a comedy show live as opposed to watching on TV. It's always funnier live.
Two really bad comedians.
Exactly.
Take care, folks. Have a great day.
All right, take care, everyone. Have a good night.